Hi, I'm Shui, and hopefully this will help us with our pathology exam that's going to be coming up in a couple of weeks. So this time I'm going to talk to everyone about cancer. So this is actually the 4 causes of cancer that we probably all need to know about. So what are the 4 causes of cancer? So we all know cancer involves unstoppable multiplication of cells that just keeps replicating in our body, and it could be spread through everywhere. So how does cells actually do that? Well, the underlying cause of that is actually the interruption or the disruption in the cell DNA or the cell genes. There's 4 types of genes. One is the proto-oncogenes, the genes that promote growth. 2 is a tumor suppressor gene, the gene that inhibits growth. And 3, the gene that regulates apoptosis. And 4, genes that involve with DNA repair. So when the genes are damaged, they do really bad things to cells, and they involve autonomic growth, insensitivity to growth inhibitory signals, the invasive of apoptosis, the limitness of replication, and sustained angiogenesis, and invasion and metastasis. So autonomic growth in cancer cells causes cells to divide on its own. This may be caused by cells may produce its own growth factors, and the receptors may be overexpressed or always on. Or signal transfusion proteins may be on, and the nuclear transcription factors might always be expressed, and the cyclins may be overreactive. For example, the RAS gene. RAS gene is a signal transduction protein. When this gene is mutated, this signal transduction protein is always on. Therefore, it is always transducing signals, so the cell is always dividing. The growth inhibitory signals, for example, the tumor suppressor genes, are genes that act as brakes in the cell cycle. Mutation of these genes will cause the loss of brakes, which means that the brakes are not working. Many proteins are involved in apoptosis. For example, the FAS death receptor. Remember last year in immunology we did that. The P53 guardian. And if any of these genes, of these proteins are mutated, the cells become immortal. So the normal life duration of the cell is about 60 to 70 doublings. The telomeres get shorter and shorter as we get older. But in abnormal cancer cells, they use telomerase to maintain telomere lengths, so the telomeres do not get shorter. Remember last year in cell biology, it all comes back? Okay, the next fact. Just remember, tumor cells always need to have bloods, and they can't grow anywhere over 1 to 2 centimeters. So tumor cells adapt to stimulate normal vessel growth by hormone stimulation. So it can angiogenesis could be stimulated, and so the tumor could get larger and larger. So once they've taken over the position, they want to migrate to other bodies. So this is when the tumor cells are starting, the cancerous cells are wanting to metastasis. So how do they invade and metastasis other part of the body? They have to do 3 things. One is they have to loosen the contact between other cells, and they have to degrade through the intracellular matrix, and then they migrate through the original sites. Some cells lodge in the nearest capillary bed, and some cells shows tropism.